Hello, everybody, and welcome to English for You. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Elsie.
And today we're going to be learning about how researchers use wax to help farmers grow plants.
Okay, so Nicole, do you grow plants at home?
Well, I try to grow plants.
You tried, but...
I fail.
Oh, actually, me too.
Oh, no.
I did try hard, but they just didn't grow well.
Yeah, no, my friend is really good at growing plants. She has what we call a green thumb. Do you have any phrase like that in Chinese? A green thumb means you're really good at making things grow in the garden.
对，在英文里面，如果你说 green thumbs 代表你很会种东西. I don't think in Chinese we have that.
That's a fun English phrase to know.
We'll just say, oh, he's really or she's really good at growing things.
Yeah, so in English we can say they have a green thumb.
Okay, so we're going to talk about this new type of wax, right? That helps farmers grow plants. So what is this new type of wax? Let's find out.
Reading.
Researchers use wax to help farmers grow plants. Some climates are better for growing plants than others. Dry, hot conditions make it especially difficult to grow plants. Farmers in regions with this kind of weather irrigate their fields with networks of underground tubing. They also cover the land with plastic sheets to trap water. This gives plants a better chance of growing, but it's not without problems. Plastic sheets are expensive, and there's a risk of chemicals from the plastic entering the water and soil. Researcher Himanshu Mishra and his team have come up with a solution that uses wax-coated sand. The researchers noticed that some plants naturally produce a wax-like substance that traps water which they use to grow. Mishra and his team wanted to use this idea, so they chose a biodegradable wax, which is more environmentally friendly, and mixed it with a type of sand. Testing showed that the soil covered with this wax-coated sand lost up to 80% less water than usual. Further research suggests that the technology gives great advantages to produce, such as tomatoes, barley, and wheat. It's hoped that wax-coated sand will allow farmers in difficult climates to grow more and better produce.
So let's take a look at our article today. It starts by saying, some climates are better for growing plants than others. Each country has a very different climate. Back in my home Ireland, it's very cold, very rainy, but in Taiwan, it's hot and it's humid. So there are very different plants in both countries.
没错，所以呢，有一些气候比起其他的更适合种植植物，所以我们讲到的 climate， 它指的就是气候。可是如果你要说一般的天气状况，我们要用的是 weather 这个字哦，它们不太一样。所以到底有什么样的气候会比起其他的更适合种植植物呢？像是 temperature， 温度 humidity， 湿度 they both matter.
So let's see what the article says about different climates. It says, dry, hot conditions make it especially difficult to grow plants. Yes, plants need air and water to grow.
没错，所以 conditions 这个名词的意思是条件情况，太干、太热 too dry, too hot 它都会让植物难以生长。
The article continues, farmers in regions with this kind of weather irrigate their fields with networks of underground tubing. So a lot of different words in that sentence there. Let's start with underground. So you can probably guess means something that is under the ground. So basements are underground and plants grow their roots in the dirt underground. Another example could be, we go through an underground tunnel when we go on the MRT. Yeah, so there are some MRT lines that are overground, but most of them are underground. So we take all the escalators down underground. Another word we saw in that sentence was irrigate. So irrigate is a special way that farmers water their crops. And in this sentence, we also saw the word tubing. So we know a tube is a long, round thing, kind of like a pipe. So it's got a hole in the middle. And tubing is just what we say when we have a lot of tubes or a collection of tubes. So the farmers use a lot of tubing to water their plants.
OK， 所以真的我们这边有很多字要来看一下哦。首先讲到的 underground， 其实你看字面你就会发现很好记，我们是 under 加上 ground，underground， 那这个形容词就是地面下的。那再来 irrigate 这个动词代表的是灌溉的动作，那要用什么东西帮忙灌溉呢？就是 tubing 这个名词代表的是管道系统，所以在这种不好的气候下种植的农人啊，他们就要利用这个 underground tubing， 也就是地下管道系统来灌溉他们的农田。
Now let's come back up to the surface and go back to our article. It continues, they also cover the land with plastic sheets to trap water. Plastic is a special type of man-made material. Lots of things around us are made out of plastic. We have plastic bottles, pens, plastic boxes, food containers. We're surrounded by plastic. For example, I bought a plastic bag at the store when I went grocery shopping.
Plastic 在这个句子当中呢，当的是形容词用哦，代表的是塑胶制的。那当然这个字也可以当作名词，指的就是塑胶。那塑胶制的东西有什么呢？像是 plastic bottles， 那就是我们的像保特瓶啦、塑胶罐。plastic bags， 那就是塑胶袋。plastic straws， 那就是我们以前会用的塑胶吸管。那这边我们课文讲到的 plastic sheets 指的是塑胶布。塑胶布能用来干嘛呢？他们用塑胶布来 trap water。trap 这边的意思啊，是聚集水、能量或是气体，也就是用塑胶布来留住水分。
So why do the farmers use these plastic sheets to trap the water? The article explains, this gives plants a better chance of growing, but it's not without problems.
Okay, so what are some of the problems?
Let's take a look. The article tells us, plastic sheets are expensive, and there's a risk of chemicals from the plastic entering the water and soil. Risk is the chance that something bad might happen. So for example, I want to jump into the swimming pool, but there's a risk I might hurt myself.
There's a risk I might hurt myself. 那就是可能会有受伤的风险。所以 risk 这个名词代表就是风险、危险。There's a risk of something， 那就是有某事发生的风险。风险高 we can use high to describe the risk, right? 那如果是风险低，我们就用 low. So for example, there's a high risk of another car accident happening on this bridge. 那就代表呢，这桥上啊有高度发生另外一场车祸的风险。
So the farmers are using plastic sheets, and that gives the plants more water, but they're worried about the risk. So the bad things that could happen because of the plastic sheets. But we need plants to survive, so many farmers are looking for other solutions. The article says researcher Himanshu Mishra and his team have come up with a solution that uses wax-coated sand. Wax is another type of material. It can be made naturally from beeswax, or it can be made from oil. So for example, candles are made out of different types of wax.
我们学过 research 这个字啊，是个名词，代表研究调查。那如果你在字尾加上 er， 你会看到 Researchers， 那它代表就是研究人员，所以字尾1、2常与名词或是动词连用哦，那就表示呢从事某职业的人或是做点点点的人，像是 teach 是教学 ，teacher 那就是老师，字尾你会看到1、2被放上去了。那还有像 farm 农田，好或是种植，那 farmer 就是农夫。那还有像是跳舞 dance dancer 那就是舞者 ，sing 是唱歌 singer 那就是歌手。那再来呢，回到课我们还看到 wax 这个字，好，这边当名词用，代表的是蜡，所以我们看到的 wax coated sand 那就是新型的防水蜡砂，你看到的 coat， 好，我们以前学过 coat 就是大衣名词，对不对？不过这边呢，它是先将它视为一个动词，然后意思是在点点点上涂或盖，然后再加上 ed 跟 wax 合并 wax coated 那就是被涂或是被盖上蜡的。那另外 wax 也可以当动词用，代表去打蜡，像是 wax the floor 那就是让地板打蜡。那课文说到这个 Himashi right Himashi OK 这个人他跟他的团队研发出来的就是这个厉害的蜡。
So the farmers are looking for a different solution to their problem. So they're going away from plastic and going towards wax. What else does the article say about this wax? It says, the researchers noticed that some plants naturally produce a wax-like substance that traps water, which they use to grow. So they're looking at the things that the plants do naturally. And there they made a wax-like substance. So substance is another word for a thing. Usually we put descriptive words in front of it to say what type of substance or thing it is. For example, the scientist mixed together different chemical substances.Substance
指的就是物质，所以前面说的 chemical substances 那就是化学物质，那还有像是 illegal substances 那就是非法的物质，那指的可能就是毒品 drugs。那课文说到有一些植物呢，它会制造天然像蜡一般可以留住水分的物质。
So how are they using these substances that the plants naturally make? Well, the article continues.Misha and his team wanted to use this idea, so they chose a biodegradable wax, which is more environmentally friendly, and mixed it with a type of sand. So there we had the word biodegradable. It's a big word there, but bio just means something like biological, so something natural, and degradable. That means it breaks down. So biodegradable means the material will turn back into dirt when you put it in the earth. Plastic usually isn't biodegradable. So all those plastic bags, plastic straws, all the plastic trash builds up and just stays on the planet. So when we're helping plants, we're trying to protect the planet. That's why we're using things that are biodegradable, and that's important.
Biodegradable 这个形容词呢，就是呢可由微生物分解的。那当你看到字首 bio， 它跟生物相关，像是 biology， 好，那就是生物学。So this biodegradable wax is more environmentally friendly， 代表这种可由微生物分解的蜡比较环保。
Environmentally friendly, it's good for the planet. So when we're looking at things that we use, we want to use things that are more environmentally friendly. That's why a lot of places now, they won't use plastic straws. They'll use paper straws, or I even saw bamboo straws, or you can buy those metal straws, or you can even buy like a silicone straw, so a straw that you can reuse again and again, better for the environment. Well, let's go back to our article. The article says, testing showed that the soil covered with this wax-coated sand lost up to 80% less water than usual. So there we had up to. So up to means the number could be this high or it might be a little lower. So if something is up to 10, it could be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, but it won't be 11. It won't be over that. It will just be up to that number.
Up to something, 那就是数量或是水准多达 可高达点点点，但是不会超过。所以我们可以说呢 up to 60 people were killed in this train crash， 高达60个人在这场火车事故当中丧生。那回到文章来呢，我们讲到在土壤上使用这样新型的蜡砂，可以减少高达80%的水分流失 up to 80%。
So let's go back to our article. It continues, further research suggests that the technology gives great advantages to produce such as tomatoes, barley, and wheat. Advantages are things that are good about something. For example, we could say one advantage of online classes is that you don't need to take the train or the bus to school. So this technology that the researchers are developing gives plants more water, which is a great advantage. That's something that is good. And this also goes with the word disadvantage, which means something that is not great, something that's bad. So there we had the word barley. Barley is a type of grain and it's often used to make beer.
OK， 那我们先回到刚刚讲到的 advantage 这个名词啊，就是优势或是有利的条件。那相反，很简单，字首加上 dis disadvantage， 那就是劣势。所以当我们要说某事物的优势和劣势的时候呢，我们可以说 the advantage 跟 the disadvantage of something or doing something。那也可以说是 pros and cons， 好处跟坏处，优点跟缺点。那 produce 这个字呢，它是个名词，所以重音要在第一节要特别小心哦，指的是水果、蔬菜等等的农产品。那刚刚讲到的 barley 大麦，好，就是我们今天学到的新名词。所以这项新科技很厉害，它有利于番茄、大麦还有小麦的种植。A wonderful new technology.
So let's go back to our article. It's hoped that wax-coated sand will allow farmers in difficult climates to grow more and better produce.
我们看到的 allow， 好，它的意思呢是使点点点有可能，或是让点点点有机会。那常见的用法是 allow somebody to do something， 代表就是让某人可能有机会做某事。所以呢，在我们的课文最后，我们说到的是希望新型防水蜡砂可以帮助农人们在恶劣气候中种植出更多更好的农作物。
Now it's time to go to our For You chat question.
For You chat.
And our question today, what other conditions do you think make growing plants difficult?
Oh, wow. I think a lot of conditions, right? We have to pay attention to. Like if there's too much water, it's not good. If there's a lack of water, it's not good either.
The water has to be just right.
Yeah, and the sunlight needs to be just right too. What do you think?
You also need to be careful when you water the plants.
Oh.
Because I know sometimes if it's very, very sunny and you water the plants, if the plants are too wet in the sun, it can actually cause the plants to burn. Because the water on the plant gets so hot that it starts cooking the plant.
So when there's too much sunlight, it's not good either.
So you got to be careful. And there's also other conditions in the environment that we need to be careful of. So pollution, that will affect how plants grow.
Like water pollution.
So if the water isn't clean, the plants can't get the nutrients from it.
Right, and sometimes there are certain kinds of bugs that might harm the crops too, right? So we also need to pay attention to that.
Yes, pests. That's what we call them.
害虫
They want to eat our beautiful plants.
The bad bugs. Okay, what else?
I suppose you could also say that there's not so much space in a city because they're using obviously all the land for big buildings and areas. So there's not a lot of space to grow things. I know I have an apartment, so I don't have a big garden to grow things. So that makes it harder to grow plants when you don't have space.
Right, so do you have a balcony?
I have a very little balcony.
Oh, so like when we plant things at home, it's better to do it on a balcony, right?
Yeah, so they get the air and the sun.
Okay. All right, so I think our students can think about this question. And it's time for us to say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Vocabulary Review.
Underground. A subway is an underground train system. This lets it avoid traffic. Plastic. During the hike, we put our water into plastic bottles because glass bottles would have made our bags heavy. Risk. Swimming isn't allowed at this beach because sharks create too much risk for those in the water. Wax. In the past, candles were made by using animal fat, but today candles are made of wax. Substance. Oil and water are two substances that don't mix well together. Advantage. Jack has an advantage when playing board games because he plays them much more often than everyone else.
智慧小补帖
Irrigate. Tubing. Biodegradable. Barley.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作，活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net